Alright folks, welcome to another beer review, and this is a beer by Ilkley and it's brewed for booths, and this is the Vintage Ale 175th anniversary edition, so of course EH Booths & Co. Vintage Ale is specially created for us by Ilkley Brewery in celebration of our 175th anniversary. A sweet, full-bodied deep ruby ale aged on oak, leading into a smooth, rich, malty backbone, subtle spicy aroma, finishing with soft fruitcake undertones. And we recommend that it pairs with a full and flavoursome cheese board. Now, how wonderful does that sound? So, yeah, they've got like a few sort of like Christmassy beers in my local booths. Can't find, because I'm sure they used to sell like the Fuller's Vintage Ale and Imperial Stout, the annual releases, but I've not seen them. I think, isn't that more like a Waitrose thing, even though Waitrose is, Booths is part of Waitrose. Co-op's part of that as well, which I didn't realise. And yeah, I do like Booths for a little bit of a treat. I wish I could afford to do my weekly shop there, and you do feel a tiny bit Tory when you're going round, but they've got a really good beer selection. The seasonal stuff is always interesting, even though they've got quite a few of those like cheap gimmicky Christmas beers like Bad Elf and stuff like that. So yeah, this actually wasn't with the rest of the beers. It was like it next to the crisps. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. And I've not had an Ilkley beer for absolutely ages. They were like one of the like sort of first breweries that I started to get into when I was going from like just solely lagers to real ales and craft beer. Like that, I always reference them like early Runaway, Tickety Brew, Beavertown when they were in bottles. And yeah, so there's something about Ilkley that just takes me back to when I was really starting to get into this. And I would say when I was a lot lighter, but I haven't actually really put that much more weight on since drinking considerably more alcohol. Which is both comforting yet quite depressing. Although there are some older videos on the channel where I can clearly see that I was a little bit slimmer, and it's depressing as fuck. But anyway, so yeah, picked up a few beers from Fuller's on my last little trip, including a Star of Pram and Unfiltered, which I'm looking forward to. Although part of me is thinking that I should buy a bottle of normal Star of Pram, just so we can do a comparison, or, you know, later on in the year, although the year's coming to an end. Why did I say later on in the year I can do it? Anyway, so, sticking with some form of locality to the booths from which I purchased this beverage, I've got my Eagle and Child Festival glass. I was at the festival this year with my good friend Adam, aka Mersey Beers, and yeah, had a wonderful day having a few drinks around Burscough. Then we went into Southport. The festival's pretty good as well, and yeah, so very blessed really for drinking options, because I don't really have to travel too far to get a decent pint or a decent, you know, bottle or can selection. So yeah, the Vintage Ale. I do like the look of this. Very simple, sort of like straight to the point beer label with gold detailing. And this is what the beer looks like in a glass. Beers like this are made for glasses like this, aren't they? Let's be honest. And it's pretty much as it describes it on the label, ruby red, and there's about half a finger or a quarter of a finger's worth of a nice off-white head. Looking very nice indeed. So let's have a sniff. And it's got that sort of like sweet, caramelly, like cake dough. That's not the cake mixture. But then you've got these like slightly steeped fruit notes. Very sort of like in line with this time of year. You know, like your Christmas puddings and that sort of thing. And there's a little hint of like almost like a freshly baked rye loaf in there. It's got a beautiful, beautiful aroma. It really, really has. Did I say what ABV it was? I don't think I did. 6.8%. Oh, so it's almost like a English strong ale. I'm not sure what sort of like category it fits in, but it just caught my eye. And yeah, to Booths. I mean, the one thing that does make me laugh is that Booths' like Christmas catalogue is a hardbound book. But yeah. It smells really nice. Let's give it a taste. Cheers, folks. Oh yeah. Very bready. The spiciness is amped up a little bit more. I'm getting those sort of like autumnal, like seasoning spice mix, like cloves, star anise. There's like a bit of like granulated ginger and cinnamon. Allspice, that sort of thing. A lovely upper medium mouthfeel. Very smooth, gentle carbonation. Really big bready notes. It's rich, but it doesn't get too sweet. And it's remarkably drinkable, as robust as it is. Now, I'm not too sure if this is a recipe that Ilkley have already got and they've just sort of like licensed it out to Booths, or if Booths approached them and asked them to actually create a recipe from the ground up. But it's got a real sort of like classic, borderline festive sort of feel to it. And I don't know why I record these videos when I've got the kitchen door open, because I'm always terrified that even though the house is empty, I will see someone walk past. Now, if I was good at editing, I could split the screen, which it looks like I'm about to set it up, doesn't it? So you can't see where there's the two separate videos. But yeah, I could just like walk past slowly, couldn't I? But I'm not going to do that. It's a lot of effort for a shit overplayed gag. But yeah, very nutty as well. And you're definitely getting that oakiness, that woody oak. Isn't that a type of cheddar woody oak, or is that woody? I can't remember. It's not woody oak, the one I'm thinking of. Although woody oak does sound like a good sort of place out of an Enid Blyton book. You know. By the way, how great was the Magic Faraway Tree? That's one of the few books from my childhood where, like, my mum would read it to me at bedtime. There's a joke there about how she still does it, and I'm 33 years old, but I won't stoop to that level. I'll let trolls on the internet assume stuff like that for me. So, thank you. But that was like one of the few books or book series as a child, and like the magic, what's it? I was going to say, what's that series of books about? A magic bench? Or was that part of the Magic Faraway Tree with like Moonface? But that was like one of the few sorts of pieces of literature as a child that I would visualize the characters and the situations. So I think I can't remember what a woody hole did I call it? A woody oaky. What was I talking about? I don't know. Woody oak. Did I say woody oak? Is that what this is all stemming from? I don't know. I've got undiagnosed mental illness, so please forgive me. And I don't know how that fire started. I just woke up next to it. Prove it. But yeah, this is gorgeous. This is a gorgeous little drop. It really, really is. And there's like this sort of like drying character on the back end, which to me reminds me of those like seasonings and spice mixes, those autumnal winter spices, because it does dry out the palate a little bit. ABV, I mean, there's always a risk with a beer like this that it tastes a little bit harsher than the actual ABV, but I think this is a wonderful, wonderful brew. And I think, because I don't really get to go to brews all that often, but if there was a few more bottles of this, I'd be buying like a 6-pack of it. I really, really would. I'm very guilty of buying beers where I'm like, oh, do you know what? I'm going to get a few bottles of that and save it for Christmas. What do I end up drinking? Mainly lagers and whatever pales and IPAs that I've bought, and then these like beers that aren't necessarily like really high ABV or might happen to be high ABV. I just end up not drinking them because I'm like, I don't really feel like drinking that right now. But this, to me, it's not a Christmas beer, and I'm not too sure when this was actually brewed or released, but it fits in perfectly with the time of the year, the season, the festive side of things coming up, and I think this would work remarkably well with a cheese board. They've nailed it. They've absolutely nailed the appearance, aroma and taste and what you'd pair it with. Unfortunately, I don't really have too many cheeses to make a proper cheese board. I've got a few cured meats. Don't have any rye bread. I do like to have a little bit of rye bread with my cheese boards. I don't do anything like soft cheeses like blue cheese or anything like that, because it's just, why would you put yourself through that? But I like a nice sort of like farmhouse cheddar. I like the gentle sort of nutty side of cheeses, like basic as fuck, but Jarlsberg is always a good shout. Like a nice French Comte or Gruyere. Those are my favourite sorts of cheeses. Slice up a little bit of chorizo, onion relish, little pot of balsamic vinegar for dipping. The closet Tory in me is absolutely throbbing in the groin right now. That sounds absolutely wonderful. But I think I'm probably just going to settle for a frozen Iceland curry, which are very good, by the way. The pre-made ready meal curries from Iceland as part of the deluxe range. Highly recommended. So far I've had the chicken tikka masala and I've had the butter chicken. The butter chicken, because I don't think I've really ever had a butter chicken curry before. But that, because like the pieces, and it's proper pieces of chicken in there. Amazing quality. Sorry Booths for shouting out Iceland. But yeah, really good. And if you, because I think at one point, we're going off on a tangent, a curry based tangent. I think like for a week they were doing a curry week where you could get any 5 curries for a £5. I think now it's like 2 for £3 to £4. Still really good value, nice portion size. But yeah, the butter chicken curry was like for me a chicken tikka masala but amplified. The only other curry I've got left is a korma, although I've heard from people who usually say kormas are shit, because quite frankly they are. Why would you waste your time going to a Indian restaurant and getting yourself a korma? No disrespect to people who like kormas, of course, but apparently the korma actually has some nice flavour to it. So yeah, if you want a good cheap frozen curry, Iceland is your best bet. I don't know what the curry situation is like in Booths. Maybe I could do some Clueless Eats videos and pair some stuff. I don't know, we'll see. But if you have got a Booths near to where you are, I think it's like a northern version of Waitrose, essentially. And you see this, I think it's like about £1 something a bottle. More than worth it. Just absolutely hits the spot. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous beer. And yeah, just everything there. Everything it promises, it delivers. And that's really quite rare nowadays, isn't it? But yeah, so Ilkley, massive, massive shout out. I need to get more. I need to, next time I'm at Booths, I'm going to buy a bottle of each Ilkley beer that they have. We'll do a live stream. I'm saying this now as if I'm going to do it. I'll probably forget and we won't have a live stream. But I need to review more stuff like this. I really, really do. And if I get the opportunity to do so, I will definitely be buying a few more bottles of this. Because it's more than hitting the spot. And it's a remarkably tasty beer. And yeah, very fitting for 175 years of E.H. Booths & Co. Produced in the UK for E.H. Booth Co. Limited, Preston. And Preston's quite a beer city now. Is it a city? Is Preston a city? I don't know. I can't remember. Did they have a cathedral? I was there like a couple of months ago. But anyway, if Adam from Mersey Beers is watching this, he'll have commented and put me straight, which he does tend to do, and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, if you've tried this, then let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. Are you a fan of Ilkley? What's some of your favourite beers? Yeah, do you ever go to Booths? And the beer selection is always really good. I mean, you can get pint cans. Well, you can get like 500ml can. Is it 500ml or is it a little bit more of pint? Or is it metric? Can't remember, from Marble. Very much worth it. And their German beer selection is fantastic as well. Although I was really sad that they didn't have any of the Augustiner Lager Beer Hell. Did have the Edelstoff, which was tasting beautiful. It's been a long time since I've had that. Anyway, let's just end the video because I've been waffling on for way too long. Vintage Ale from Ilkley. Don't know what's going on with my hand there. That's very feminine, but who cares? And yeah, for Booths, fantastic beer. And apologies if this has popped up on Booths' radar. They can't put this on their social media. I wouldn't, but I'd recommend this beer highly. Check out Ilkley, and if you've got Booths nearby, go check them out as well. Cheers for watching. You all take care, stay safe, and I shall hopefully see you later, unless someone has walked past, and therefore this may become a found footage. Why isn't someone should make, within the beer community, a found footage beer review related video series? Let's get that sorted anyway. Cheers for watching. You all take care, stay safe, and I shall hopefully see you all later.